Hello everyone and welcome back to week 27 of our Minecraft Let's Play series. How you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. So before we get into what we're going to be doing this week, I went ahead and you may have seen that I went mining. We ended up getting a bunch of coal, obviously, some copper, gold, lapis, and a decent amount of iron, which is what I was going to go for because of the fact that we are actually somewhat low on iron. It's not horribly low, but it could be better. But with that out of the way, this is what I have planned for this week. I don't know if we'll get through everything, but I would like to explain everything on here just really quickly. The spider farm, there was a while back when we were looking for pottery sherds, and we went ahead and went over to the desert temple, and we found two cave spider spawners right next to each other at an abandoned mineshaft, and I thought that we could make a spider farm over there for string. Also adding on to the list of farms that we need for our village trading hall. Base improvements, we need to finish the spiral staircase because I still haven't done that yet, and possibly adding buildings, an archway over the path that we made last week, and possibly adding some trees along the path as well. Then on here I have villagers, and that is because I finally went ahead and did some research into villagers so we can probably start working towards actually making the villager trading hall that I've wanted to do for a while. So we'll get into that when we get there. And while I was mining, I ended up finding a deep dark, and well, I'm not going to be looking for an ancient city specifically this week. I do want to head over to that deep dark, which may have been a deep dark that we already found. I'm not too sure, but I wanted to check just in case it has an ancient city. And if it has an ancient city, we won't go ahead and look through it this week because I already have a decent amount of stuff I want to do this week. It'll probably be a next week thing if I find one. That's a big if. And that's actually what we're going to do first, is we're going to go ahead over to the deep dark, and I'm going to go ahead and see if we can find an ancient city. But first, before I forget this time, I need to bring some wool with me. I see 3 shriekers down there already. And of course I'll be grabbing iron while we're here too. Usual. Alright. Lovely. Damn. It's been 10 minutes though, so that's good. Oh, have I been here? I guess we could check. Something tells me we haven't though. No, we have not. Oh my god, this is a new place. I was not expecting to actually find one of these. Alright, now I need to get out. Alright. Weird. So we have an issue then. And that issue is I don't know how to get out of here because so far the 2 directions I've dug have led immediately into shriekers. Freedom! I had a feeling that's gonna happen. And alright, after that tiny excursion, we went ahead and actually found an ancient city, obviously, and came back with a decent amount of ores. Now, some of this may be mixed with what I found beforehand, and that's just because I accidentally mixed it while trying to put stuff away. But this is roughly what we ended up getting from that excursion too. And now we're going to start working on some base improvements. Mainly, we're going to be working around in this area because I have created something I want to put here for the archway, what I wanted to do for finishing the underside of our staircase, as well as I actually thought about what I wanted to do for that top area on our beacon tower as well. So there's going to be a decent bit of changes, and I will go ahead and show a little bit of progress after each one of them. And here's the first part done. I went ahead and made a little bit of a railing around this area with an entrance right here. Obviously, it just seemed like the best place to put one. And I went ahead and added these lights that we just kind of have all around the place on the bridges and stairs. And now I'm going to go ahead and work on our staircase. And already here is our staircase. As you can see, I went ahead and changed the lights from being glowstone into our frog light lights. And as well as here is the wall that is going to be what the staircase looks like. And it goes all the way up to here, obviously. Nothing new on the inside of the staircase, but I thought I would just show you what it looks like from here now. And now finally, I want to work on an archway right here that will go, and I think it'll go maybe like 5 blocks on this path, and basically just make a transition from this area into this area a little bit better than this would, just because it's a little bit undone here. And that first requires us to remove this. And here we now have our archway. As you can see, it goes all the way up. It does have a little bit of a build up there, which I will get to in a second. But yeah, it now transitions to this area, which I want to put buildings here and here in the future, but I don't know what I want to put here exactly right now, so it's just kind of left as is. And I've been kind of avoiding the elephant in the room, because if I go around and turn around, you may realize that there is a giant hole here, as well as this cliffside is now just flat along here, and there is a little bit more here, and I will go ahead and terraform this, but that is going to be probably a Sunday project, as well as like the area over here, because this doesn't look normal either. And then if we come up from our staircase over here, you can realize that the top part is actually another kind of bridge or staircase, but this bridge now utilizes the terrain that was here before, and of course now is the archway though, but this was originally land and now has just been kind of built over with the archway. So it's still the exact same layout, but yeah, this now comes up from here, and I'm thinking about making a path to here just to connect it up, as well as I'm just going to put a small path from here all the way over to here. So we'll actually have almost a full loop by that point, because we'll have the path that goes from here all the way up here and snakes over to here, would go around and down the staircase and come out all the way over to here. Now it would loop if I went ahead and put a path all the way through where the sniffers are currently, but right now I'm just going to wait to do so because I don't know where to put these guys. And now that brings us on to the next thing that we're going to do, which is actually the first item on our list, which is clean out the mineshaft for our spider farm. Now, people who've been paying attention will realize that I had this just as spider farm earlier, but the thing is, I went ahead and talked with a friend of mine, and they had said that I've been spending a lot of time recently building farms, and they're not necessarily wrong. So, while I do want to build a spider farm, we will wait to actually build it, I would say, just for a little bit. That's not to mention I also don't even have a design for said spider farm yet, and I don't want to just wing it, so that's going to have to be on hold as well. But I do know where we're actually building said spider farm, so I will meet you guys over there. Alright, it should be around in this area. See, this is the area I was talking about before. So there's a spider spawner there and there. I don't actually know if we make a spider farm here, if it's gonna work the way I'm hoping it will, but we could definitely try. So yeah, I needed to go ahead and torch these up. And just get a bunch of torches on here just in case. I think that might be another spawner in there. There's a lot of cobwebs, so I assume so. Oh man, there's a lot of spider spawners here. These two are honestly pretty good for a spider farm because they're like right next to each other. Oh, there's another one right here. Why are there so many? Because I think that's 5 at the moment. I'll take it though. Definitely feel like this one is a little bit too dangerous. So this one might be a wash anyway, but I will still put torches around it. Got a sneak peek of what's to come next week. And alright, after going through the entire mineshaft, I do think that we're gonna have to probably build our spider farm here. Mainly because we have two spider spawners. We got the one right there and the one right here, but we also have a third one that if we can get in here, I would love to connect with these two, because then it would just increase the cave spider spawns to a ridiculous amount. But I think the other two that we found are just not going to be able to be used for this because, well, we're not going to be close enough for it to spawn in cave spiders, so this will just have to do. And for our last thing that we're going to do this week is we need to go ahead and talk about villagers. But to do that, I need to go ahead and hop into our creative world to show you guys what I'm talking about with that. So I'll meet you over there. And here we are. You guys may recognize this from a while ago as what I was planning to do with the villager trading hall, and that is exactly what we're here to talk about today. Now, I didn't work on the build at all, as you could tell. That honestly wasn't my main priority because I already had a decent idea for the design I wanted to have, but I just never knew how many villagers I wanted to have. And that changes today. Now, I will warn you guys that if you do not like numbers, this is not going to be a section for you, and this is going to be the rest of the videos. So if you don't want to hear me blabbing on about the numbers behind how I'm going to be doing this villager trading hall, go ahead and I will see you guys next week then. But if you guys want to know what I'm planning on doing, then I suggest sticking around, because here we have every distinct villager job in Minecraft so far. There are currently 13 villager jobs in this game. As you can see, you got like armor, butcher, cartographer, cleric, I forgot your name for a second, then farmer, fisherman, fletcher, leather worker, librarian, mason, shepherd, toolsmith, and weaponsmith. Now, my issue with this when I was trying to make a villager hall was the fact that each of these villagers does actually have some good trades for different reasons. And at the beginning of this, I thought, okay, well, I don't need armorsmith, toolsmith, or weaponsmith because, you know, they can just sell me armor or just sell me tools, which I could just craft. But thinking more about it, that would actually save resources in the long run. So I had to think, okay, what villagers do I actually want, and how many of each do I actually want from that? And that is what I'm here to explain today. Now, I'm going to try and explain everything here as well as I can while also keeping it brief. So let's get started. First and foremost, the signs above each villager that you see here is the number of villagers that I believe you need to actually go ahead and get every single possible trade guaranteed from that villager, or at least the trades that I think would be well worth it. The shulker boxes up top actually tell you that a trade a villager has is farmable. Like you may see here that I have the fisherman has a shulker box above him, and that is because, of course, I can trade fish with the fisherman, and that farm has already been made in our world. The redstone block down here tells me that the number of villagers that are required to get every possible trade is not good enough if I'm going to be bulk trading with them. So I'm going to go through this very quickly. When it comes to the armorsmith, I only see the need for one villager due to the fact that one villager will give you a full set of diamond armor. It'll be enchanted, but you can just scrape the enchantments off. The butcherer only needs 2. The cartographer needs 16, I believe, because they can also sell the 16 banners. Each one has a different color, and there are 16 different colors. That's why we have that. To get every possible trade for the cleric, you only need 2, because there's only one tier that actually needs 2 villagers to cover every trade, because there's 3 trades. Farmer needs 3 because of the number of suspicious stews they sell. Fisherman needs 5 because there are 5 different types of boats that the fisherman can buy. The Fletcher needs either 37 or 15 because the Fletcher either sells 37 different types of tipped arrows for every different potion, or if you're just looking for the status effect only and not like the extended ones or the more powerful ones, then it's only 15 different potions. Only need 1 leather worker. The librarian is definitely the one that needs the most out of all of these. There are 39 different enchantments, not including every tier of enchantment. For mason and shepherd, this is very similar to how the cartographer was, because the mason sells the 16 different types of terracotta, both glazed glazed and unglazed, I believe. And the shepherd sells, I believe, the different colors of beds, and I think that's it actually for the shepherd. And then the toolsmith and weaponsmith are the same story as the armorsmith, only needs one because you can get a full set of diamond tools from the toolsmith and a full set of diamond weapons from one weaponsmith. Now, if we go ahead and take all these numbers just at the lowest that they could possibly be to get all the trades, you are looking at a total of 104 villagers. We have a total of 4 at our base right now. So yeah, you can probably guess how big of a project this is going to be. But I decided, okay, let me think about this in a different way. Can we group these villagers so that there are an equal number of villagers in each section? Because I don't want to go ahead and make this stretch for 2.5 of these going up along the line, which wouldn't be bad, but I don't want to have just like a hallway basically. So I went ahead and grouped these guys, and we have in our first group, we have the armor, the toolsmith, and the weaponsmith. All, of course, were the ones that only had 1, plus the leather worker, and then the cartographers and the butchers. This will total up to being a total of 40 villagers. Now, I will be actually extending some of the job sites because this doesn't total up to completely 40 from the numbers I gave you earlier, but I can make it equal 40. Second group, it's just going to be librarians. We're already at 39 with librarians. I just need to increase it up to 1 more for it to be 40, so we'll leave it at that. Then the third group would be shepherds and masons, which would be 16 each, but we'll make them both 20 each to also increase their number up to 40. And then finally, the fourth group would include the clerics, the farmers, the fishermen, and the fletcher. Again, once bringing the number back up all the way to 40 villagers. So there would be 4 equal groups of 40 villagers. And as you can see, all 13 jobs are here, and because it's 4 groups of 40 villagers, we now have a total of 160 villagers, which would actually comply with the size of this. As I said, this could hold 40 villagers the way I have it, just this little pod right here, because we've got 10 here, there's 10 up here, and then if you mirror that over to the side, that'd be another 20, which would equal 40 villagers. But obviously, this project is going to take a while because 160 villagers all to have the perfect trade to cover everything I want to trade with them, and not to even mention just how much time it's going to take to build this thing, find a place for it, clear out the area for it, as well as even just getting 160 villagers is a high task to do. But I've gone ahead and decided I want to do this, so we will. But sadly, not this week. I want to get you guys the idea of what's going to be happening in the future now that I actually have this idea. But I do hope that this turns out well. But nonetheless, that's going to be it for this week. And I want to talk about something just real quick. You may have noticed that we are currently in the 1.20.5 update. The update that adds the new wolves, 4 new achievements, the armadillos. And I'm going to be honest, that's kind of throw a wrench into my plans because now I want to go explore those new features in the game. So that means the ancient city, the string farms, and the villager trading hall are all going to be taking a hiatus next week, and even some of our base builders are going to take a hiatus next week, just so that we can explore 1.20.5, because I'd rather do that sooner than later, and I think it would be a nice break from all the farms that we've made, all the base building we've been doing, just to go and finally go back to exploring. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys take care, have a great week, and I will see you guys hopefully in the next one. All right, bye-bye.